Jobs are disappearing across the UK at an alarming pace, and the current trend is something we haven't seen since the worst days of the COVID lockdowns. In March alone, 70,000 positions were wiped out in just 30 days. That's right, 70,000 people lost their jobs in a single month. What makes this even more concerning is that this happened before the tax increases kicked in, before businesses had to make their first payments under the new rules. What we're witnessing now is only the first tremor before the real economic earthquake. The data tells a troubling story, and it should be a wake-up call for everyone in this country, whether you're employed, job hunting, or running a business. This isn't just a gentle slowdown. We're seeing the fastest loss of jobs outside of a pandemic in over 15 years, and the sectors being hit hardest are the ones that employ millions of everyday workers: restaurants, pubs, hotels, retail. These industries, the backbone of daily British life, are beginning to crack under pressure. Before we go any further, please do me a favour. If you want honest, no-spin coverage of the UK economy, hit subscribe now. Most people only realise the severity of these issues when it's already too late. Stay ahead of the curve, stay informed, and make sure this kind of reporting doesn't disappear like the jobs we're discussing. Now, let's dig into the numbers that Westminster won't admit. And which businesses hire the most young workers? Pubs, restaurants, hotels, coffee shops, basically the entire hospitality and leisure sector. These businesses already operate on razor-thin margins, and now they've seen their wage costs surge by over 20%. The hospitality crisis. The hospitality sector is bearing the brunt of these changes. In March, before any of these new rules took effect, the accommodation and food services sector cut 92,000 jobs. Yes, you heard that right. 92,000 jobs lost in a single month. That's nearly 1% of the entire workforce in this sector gone in 30 days. Industry groups estimate the sector now faces an additional £3.4 billion in costs. These aren't just numbers. These are real pubs closing down, restaurants cutting staff to the minimum, and hotels running with skeleton crews, and the pressure continues to build. Business rate relief, which had helped hospitality businesses during the pandemic, has been gradually reduced. During the lockdowns, pubs and restaurants paid no business rates, while many other businesses were still paying full rates. The relief slowly decreased to 75%. Then to 40% by April. This means business rates more than doubled, just as wage costs shot up by 22%. It's a perfect storm of rising costs hitting all at once. Job vacancies and shrinking sectors. Vacancies in the hospitality sector have already fallen from 94,000 before the budget announcement to 79,000 by May. That's a 19% year-on-year drop. Businesses aren't just laying off workers, they're choosing not to replace people who leave. The sector is shrinking in real time, and we haven't even felt the full impact yet. The higher wages, the increased business rates, and the rising national insurance payments are only just starting to hit businesses' bank accounts. We're about to see the true extent of the damage. Public sector versus private sector, the divide. Now, here's where things start to get even more troubling. Most of the mainstream media reported the headline, 70,000 jobs lost in March, a minor drop of 0.2%. But when you dig deeper into the numbers, you see something crucial. The health and social work sector actually added 70,000 jobs in the same month. So what's happening? The private sector is shedding jobs, while the public sector remains stable or even grows. Looking at the breakdown by industry, we see that accommodation and food services lost 0.8% of their workforce in a single month. Most other private sector industries saw a decline of around 0.4%. Meanwhile, public sector sectors like education, healthcare, and public administration either stayed flat or grew slightly. The real economy, where businesses must make a profit to survive, is shedding workers at a frightening pace, while the government-controlled sectors aren't feeling the same pressures. Public sector employment is shielded from the economic pain that private businesses are enduring. Vacancies hit record lows. Job vacancies across the economy have now dropped to 717,000, the lowest level in 7 years, excluding the pandemic dip. This is well below 2018 and 2019 levels, even though the UK population has grown. Companies are firing workers faster than they are hiring new ones, and vacancies have fallen for 39 consecutive quarters. Almost 10 years of job availability shrinking. The data on planned redundancies paints an even bleaker picture. Firms planning major layoffs had to file HR1 forms with the Redundancy Payment Service, and these filings rose from about 20,000 to 29,000 in March. That's a 50% increase in planned layoffs. Keep in mind that this data only covers big layoffs. Most job losses, especially in small businesses, don't make it into these stats. The real numbers are likely much worse. Youth unemployment, a hidden crisis. One of the most disturbing trends is youth unemployment. The unemployment rate for 18 to 24-year-olds has soared to 14.5%. Compare that to workers over 50 who face an unemployment rate of just 2.1%. This disparity is shocking. Young people are facing unemployment rates 7 times higher than older workers. There are now 948,000 young people aged 16 to 24 who are neither in education nor employment. That's nearly 1 million young Brits with no job, no training, and no clear path forward. Even worse, 22% of these unemployed young people have been out of work for over a year. They're not just between jobs, they are becoming long-term unemployed without real work experience or a chance to build a career. And why would businesses hire a young person with no experience when the cost of hiring them has just doubled overnight? It's much easier for a company to hire someone with 10 years of experience for just a slightly higher cost than to invest in someone new. Wage compression and its effects. Wage compression is another critical issue. The UK's median wage is now about £35,000 per year, while the minimum wage is around £25,400. The gap between the two is just £9,600, only 40% more than the absolute minimum. This compression means there's little financial incentive for workers to push for career advancement. The gap between entry-level jobs and more experienced roles is narrowing, leaving many workers stuck in low-paying positions. 25 years ago, someone in an entry-level job could cover their bills, buy food, and maybe even take a budget holiday. Today, that same person may earn a higher nominal salary, but they can't afford basic essentials. Food prices have soared, bills are higher, and purchasing power has remained stagnant. The growing unemployment crisis. We're seeing a self-reinforcing cycle. Businesses are laying off workers faster than they're hiring, and the unemployment to vacancy ratio has climbed from 1.7 to 2.4 in just a year. That means, for every job listing, 2.4 unemployed people are now competing for it. Competition for limited roles has exploded, making it harder for anyone to find work. When someone loses a job today, they stay unemployed for longer. There simply aren't enough open roles to absorb the people being laid off. This creates a vicious cycle where workers lose jobs, spend less, and businesses earn less, leading to even more layoffs. Where does this leave us? We're building a crisis that no one in power is willing to address. Youth unemployment is spiraling out of control. Wage compression is making it harder for workers to advance, and the hospitality sector is struggling to survive. Public sector employment is protected, while private businesses continue to cut jobs. Job vacancies are dropping and unemployment is rising. This is happening during what is supposedly an economic boom. The full impact of April's changes hasn't even fully landed yet. The next few months will likely bring more bad news as businesses face the reality of higher costs. The economic storm is building, and millions of workers and businesses will feel the consequences. Hit the notification bell so you can stay informed with future insights on the economy. Stay prepared, stay ahead, and I'll see you in the next video.